People will talk behind your back, but don't worry, they are behind for a reason. So before we dive into today's video, I want to start off by saying, no matter how smart you are or whatever you may be entitled to, as human beings, we're social creatures, and you shouldn't alienate yourself from others. There can be exceptions to that, but you have to allow that there are people out there in the world with the same chemistry as you. There are people with the same temperament, similar interests, similar humor. You are not alone. You like people who like you, who are like you, right? Let that sink in. You like people who like you, who are like you. So you've clicked on this video because in some way, shape, or form, you can't fit in, and that's great. Now, that may appear to suck, but it tells me something about you, and it means you're different. And come on, if all our lives were the same, if we all did the same things, go through the same things, wake up on the same side of the bed every morning, dress the same way, think the same way, we would live in a stupid, boring world, wouldn't we? So if you have the guts, and especially in today's society where all our words and actions are documented at scale on the internet, and you have the guts to be you and project the way you uniquely think, act the way you act, whatever, the people that judge you the most, low-key, without them even admitting it, respect you so much because they're afraid to be themselves. And as cliche as it sounds, you're unique and you're different. In a world with 7, 8 billion people, you can't find anyone exactly like you on a cellular level. And think of it. We meet and know at least 150 people in our personal lives and each of their 150 people in their network, and you're still barely scratching the surface of how many people there are in the entire planet. So if at any moment you're in a room where you can't fit in with the people around, it should be like Google search. You should hit the back button and look for the next result. But here's the reality. The reality of what it feels like at times, thinking you don't belong. And I feel for you if that's you right now. When I was a young boy, discriminated for being part of the ethnic minority group where I was raised in, I was absolutely terrified. Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw someone that was lazy and didn't look like the other kids from where I was raised. I couldn't speak the language. I was insecure about my weight. I wasn't very smart. When I was in school, I remember having a PE exam, and when we had to run, I was so fat, when I ran, my thighs would bleed from the friction. So I knew how afraid I was. I knew how insecure I was. I knew that at my core, I wanted people to like me, and I was terrified that they had every reason in the world not to like me. So trust me when I say I relate to you, but instead of becoming someone who was worthy of self-respect, who was worthy of their respect, I was trying to create the illusion that I was something because that seemed like I could do it fast, instead of just buckling down, understanding that if you're dumb, guess what? You're dumb. And if you're fat, you're fat. But it's not a permanent tag, and mindset is everything. It has nothing to do with who you are today. Don't worry about that. I'm not very interested in the person I am today. But I owe myself to keep the promise that I will continue to work to become the person I'm going to be. And this is going to be the most important thing I say today. Of this, I assure you, what you build your self-esteem around matters. And whether you realize it or not, each and every one of us has something that sits at the core of how you feel about yourself. And from that, your identity, your self-worth, your self-esteem, it is all built around that thing. So, stop allowing people who don't know your story to define you. You get to define who you are. Who you believe you are on the inside, you will project to the world. So when you know who you are, what defines you, you take away that power from others. Peace and love.
Another fingerprint scanner here. Okay, standard procedure with the tool. Cycle through the fragments and match them up to the target print.